What are you seeing with Darnold? What is going on with him? What's your evaluation of Sam?
Yeah, I think Darnold's at the point right now where he is just struggling to see things, and he's having a hard time executing basic concepts, things at this point in his career he should see. I also think he has a tendency to move too much. When you're in the pocket, and look, we know the game now. A lot of people talk about second reaction, improvisational plays, but those have to be more of a parachute, Rich. You can't just drop back and leave the pocket. You have to let the design and structure of the play out. And I think he's perceiving pressure that's often not there, and he moves too much. Now, I will say this one thing. When I evaluate a quarterback, you have to isolate the traits and attributes of a quarterback, as opposed to just saying, well, there's not a lot of talent around him. That's easy to say that there's not a lot of talent around a player, but you have to isolate his traits and attributes and characteristics. And I think right now Darnold is a struggling young quarterback.
Well, I mean, isolation for him, based on everybody else around him. I mean, that's almost like solitary confinement in terms of evaluating Greg. I mean, but so let me ask you this: where were you on the evaluation of that quarterback group as a whole, with him in relation to Mayfield and Rosen and Allen and then Lamar Jackson for that draft? Where did you stand on Darnold coming in, Greg?
Well, the concerns that he's shown in the league were concerns I had coming out. I thought that he did tend to move. He's also a guy that his lower body mechanics, he struggles with that. He doesn't always step to his throws. That may be just the way he throws the ball. Josh Allen's like that as well. Josh Allen's a little different, though. The Josh Allen experience this year, it's been kind of fun. But no, Darnold has some issues that need to be cleaned up, and at some point, if they don't get cleaned up, you end up being kind of a maybe yes, maybe no player without consistency. We'll see where he goes in his career. I know that Adam Gase has been an easy mark for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, when you watch tape and the tape does not lie, a quarterback must be able to execute basic concepts, and Darnold's struggling with that right now.
Well, what about the concepts he's being given, Greg? What about that?
Every there's not 1,000 concepts, so there's basic concepts that are on every playbook. We can debate that at given times about given play calls. Those are always debatable. But I think when you see basic concepts that everybody runs, that are in every coach's playbook, those have to be executed. And the interception, for instance, he threw in the end zone to Xavier Rhodes last week, he just didn't see it at all. He didn't read it. He didn't see it. That's something you have to read and you have to see. And it's a route concept that's in everybody's playbook. It was nothing where you could say, oh my God, what's Adam Gase doing?
So, Greg, you're an evaluator. When I sit in this chair, I'm an opinionator. I'd like you to evaluate the opinion I came up with the other day, that the Jets have officially broken Sam Darnold, whether it is hiring a coach in midstream, and then that coach coming in and with a general manager that gets changed midstream, and the current general manager trading away their best defensive player on the eve of the season, then which their maybe second best defensive player in the middle of the defense, and C.J. Mosley opts out. They trade away their best defensive player for draft choices, not people who can help Darnold right now. They let Robbie Anderson go. That put it all together, from management all the way down to everything else, that Sam Darnold is officially broken by the Jets. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that because I don't know what's in Sam Darnold's head. Obviously you'd like him to be in a position where there's some continuity, both with a coaching staff. This is the second year for Gase. I guess most people just automatically assume that this will be the last year. I find that whole thing interesting. I never know where to go with that because they won 6 of their last 8 games last year,
right?
And no one seemed to give Gase any credit for that because he's got this persona that he's the whipping boy for a lot of people, which I don't go into those kinds of things, but they did win 6 out of their 8 last year. Obviously, they're not very good this year. They've got a ton of injuries. They tried to upgrade their O-line. We'll see where it goes. But right now, Darnold is a struggling quarterback that, to me, some of that's independent of the situation with the coaching staff and the general manager.
Now, that said, just before we move on, Becton looks like the real deal, right? When you see that on?
Yep,
no doubt, right?
Yep, I think so.
They nailed that. I mean, that guy's just a mountainous human being, and he
moves very, very well.
And he seems to have the nasty, right? He seems to have the nasty where.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember watching his tape at Louisville. He gets after people for sure. He'll be a very good left tackle in the league.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.